Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the special Wednesday edition. You didn't see trivia last night, did you, Kyle?
You know what? I didn't even realize I'd missed it because of I forget how time zones work. But no, I think I was probably walking back from the Delta keynote and Lenny Kravitz performance that we'll discuss later.
We had the worst opening ever. I was going to reenact here, but you would have no frame of reference on it, so never mind.
I'll go watch it because that sounds fun.
It was pretty bad.
Because Laura knows you did not clip it out.
No, but you may want to. We did something in the show. We're like, oh, good thing Kyle's not watching. He would definitely clip that. All right, welcome to another edition of the Disney Morning Show. We're going to catch up on what's going on in the world of Disney. My name is Doobie Mosley. I happen to be the co-founder of Laughing Place. Yes, you've been reading Laughing Place for 25 years. This is the person who founded it. Shocking, I know. And over there is Kyle Burbank, our managing editor. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well. I don't know how much you can really see him, but I'd like to thank Roosevelt's for both my polo and my quarter zip.
Oh, in that case, I'd like to thank TFC for my warm shirt that I wear on days I'm not going to the gym. Hello, Fred Ramirez. How you doing? Our number one fan is not out there live today. She promises she'll watch later. She
watched the beginning.
Oh, okay. If you're watching, Nikki B, hello. And if not, we'll talk to you later. All right, we're going to talk about the world of Disney. Let's get started. And we start every show with a look at the Disney stock market, which yesterday came in at a whopping, Doobie did not get this tab set up. 111.90 is what I have written down. Let's see how we're doing today. That's what we want. Ooh. Sharp drop, 2% down on the day. Get out now, sell. No, it's a buying opportunity, or it's a time to get out before it tanks. Who knows? That's what makes the stock market so interesting. Otherwise, we'd all be rich.
So as far as weather today, we are not going to have Ethan because I don't know how much everyone's aware, but unfortunately, there's been high winds in the Los Angeles area, including in Anaheim, and that's led to a number of wildfires. So I wanted to give an update on that. If you can pull up the fire weather advisory that the National Weather Service provided, there's a link on the document. You'll see that there's an extreme area there as well as some other high-risk areas. I think that includes Anaheim. It's hard to tell without the county markers there. But yeah, a lot of that part of California. And then as a result of that, Universal Studios Hollywood has announced they're going to be closed today as well as City Walk due to the high winds and the fire weather danger. So scary situation. I actually looked at there's several wildfires. I think the worst one is probably the Palisades.
Yeah.
There's also one near Altadena, I think is where it is. Mm-hmm. And I looked at where I used to live in Glendale, and it's not too far from where evacuations are happening. So
it's crazy. It's just crazy. Watch the news. There's a lot of people, a lot of stations live streaming everything going on, and it's just pure insanity what's going on down there. Where I lived for many years, where Kyle lived for many years, we know a lot of these areas and still have a lot of friends down there. So obviously, for our friends and people we don't know, we wish, hope, pray for the best for all of them. And whoop whoop, as we say around here.
So yesterday we gave a breaking news banner to news that Haunted Mansion Holiday would not be around for Halloween this year, but I get to unveil a new drop thanks to Disney. Here we go.
Oh, whoopsie.
I love that. I want to make mistakes now just so we can use that.
There you go. Turns out that's not the case. What happened was that's when the holidays at the Disneyland Resort happened. So whoever updated the website probably just put that up, not really thinking. But of course, Haunted Mansion Holiday doesn't debut with the holidays at Disneyland Resort. It debuts with Halloween time. So Haunted Mansion Holiday will return August 22nd this year and last until January of next year. Depending on how you feel about it, that's either good or bad news, but that's the update.
All our theories about holidays colliding, including Thanksgiving this year, out the window.
Yeah. Missing a real opportunity there.
Very sad. All right. Over at runDisney, they have revealed their 25-26 race schedule, starting with the virtual series, which kicks off June 1st through August 31st. So you can register for that. Oh man, I have the date for it. Actually, I missed this one. I took notes, and I missed the Run Disney Virtual Love on the Run 14 miler. You know what?
Oh, whoops. Whoopsie.
Very good. Before I get started, what the heck is the point of a virtual run?
You get a medal. And it encourages you to get out and be active, but you get a medal. That's why you do it. You want to collect those things, just like your new emos and your whatever else they're doing these days, and Disney mini mix-its.
Okay. If you're into the virtual runs, June 1st through August 31st, registration opens April 1st of this year, not next year, as Kyle might say. We have the return of the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend. Oh, whoopsie. September 4th.
I don't want to go on a
September 4th through September 7th. The Disney World Wine and Dine is coming back October 23rd to 26th. Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend for 2026, got to look ahead to that already, is coming January 7th through 11th next year, right about this time of year next year. The 26th Princess Half, February 26th through March 2nd. And then the 2026 Run Disney Springtime Surprise Weekend, although you know about it more than a year in advance, April 16th through 19th, which will include a 5K, a 10K, and a 10 miler, though I guess the surprise is we don't know what the theme is going to be.
Yeah, so the original idea behind the Springtime Surprise is that they brought back races that had since expired, which is why there's a 10 miler, because they brought back the Tower of Terror 10 miler. But ever since, it's just kind of been, we're just random themes. It's still fun, but it's maybe the surprise is this time they'll go back to their roots and bring back those other races.
Oh, see, surprise!
So we got some news yesterday from Disney Plus that they're picking up a new, well, they've ordered a pilot, but it'll hopefully be a series about Holes. Obviously they made the 2003 movie starring Shia LaBeouf and Magic Head, but this will be separate from that. It's not going to be like a reboot. You probably won't see those actors and things. This is just going to be a new, a reimagining of the 1998 book, this time starring a teenage girl, because in the original, remember, it was a guy, Stanley Yelnats, which is Stanley. It's a palindrome, and Alina Menken, Lodge, who's known for Lodge 49, will be serving as the writer and executive producer for the series, while Liz Fang will serve as the showrunner and executive producer. So keep an eye out for that in the coming years.
TIL, Magic Head is in Holes. I've never seen Holes. No, maybe is this him over here?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, I have no idea. Yeah,
maybe
you have to watch that.
Pretty sure Magic Head's in it.
No, it is. He is. I did a quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in it. I just wanted to see if I could see him back then. All right, over at EPCOT, we have a trio of updates coming from EPCOT. First of all, you always know which park Jeremiah was at by where the updates are coming from. Fast and Furious. So yesterday, Jeremiah was at EPCOT, and he got some pictures from Gran Fiesta Tour, which closed on Monday and won't be reopening until March 15th. Pretty long refurb for an attraction, extensive enough that they've drained all the water out of it, and the lights are on pretty much everywhere throughout, except at the entrance, to maintain the ambiance of the San Angel Inn. So thank you for doing that. But
that's
long refurb there. I guess you can play some hopscotch while you wait. Then next, over at Spaceship Earth, where they are constructing a new lounge that's going to be coming there in the former AT&T Siemens Sponsors Lounge, which will have a beautiful view over Dreamers Point and World Celebration. So there's some walls up over there now where perhaps the entrance will be. And if you're leaving Spaceship Earth, they've had to kind of force you out one exit as this construction goes on. But looking forward to this lounge. It looks pretty cool. And finally, over at CommuniCore Hall, they're actually going to be using it for something. So it is closed. No one noticed while they install the Once Upon a Stage 30 Years on Broadway, which will be a guest experience showcasing 3 decades of Disney on Broadway with cops, props, and behind-the-scenes stuff. And it will be opening with Festival of the Arts on January 17th.
Do you think anyone actually knows how to play hopscotch, or do you think everyone just kind of just hops through it and then calls it a day? I have a theory that's similar, which is that no one's ever actually played Mousetrap. You just build it and you mess with it and then you tear it down. Like nobody knows how to play.
I suspect you're right. When was the last time you actually hopscotched?
I don't know. Never.
I happen to know.
I don't know if I've ever. I don't think I've ever played it correctly. I know that there's a way to play, but no, I've only. Oh, there's a hopscotch. Let me go. Huh?
I played it correctly in elementary school, but yeah. So when we were at Fort Wilderness, we wanted to make a fun video, and so I stood at the beginning of the hopscotch there, and then we cut to Gideon actually hopping it, and then back to me going, "I did it," because I couldn't. Yes, that was Gideon.
This is a huge behind the scenes reveal.
Value the magic, Doobie. Okay.
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
And speaking of abysmal, TGL, the Indoor Golf League on ESPN, had its debut yesterday. Rebecca's job is to review this, and she has written a wonderful write-up of it. But, since I have a show, I thought, let me talk about it a little bit, too, because I watched it. And I'm not a golf fan at all. I can't sit and watch a golf match. It's the most boring thing in the world. And I got to admit, this is interesting. I enjoyed it. There are so many things I feel like they could have done so much better. For being so high-tech, which is what they tout with everything, it just doesn't feel that high-tech. These graphics on the screen look worse than what I would get playing a video game.
Golf.
Yeah, it looks very ancient, and for being a virtual golf course, it's not based on a real golf course. You'd think they would have more exotic settings and stuff, which they do later on, but kick it off with like golf on the moon or something. I don't know. And because the players are mic'd the whole time, it's kind of a hard thing for the analyst to talk. You don't want to talk over the players, but I want to know. I want some analysis because I'm not a real golf fan. So, but this was live, and it was the very first one. So I feel like this is the kind of thing that will evolve over time. But what I really like is the sport. It's actually an interesting sport to watch these guys compete. And this one was a blowout. I really look forward to seeing one where it's not a blowout, which is a close. And I was trying to think, if I had to watch a match, a top golf match, a TGL match, or an NBA basketball game, not the playoffs, just a random NBA basketball game, I think I'd rather watch this. This is a little bit more compelling to me. The New York club won big time over the Bay Area.
Okay, because if you remember, I'm adult, and so I'm like looking at this, like, oh, they have 8. That means that they are winning. No, this is golf. Lower is better.
No, that you get a point for every hole you win, and Rebecca said no. Oh, I saw. I'm not sure she's talking to me or not.
Every hole you win, does that mean the Bay won because they have 6 points versus 0? Or
I got it backwards. You're right. I'm sorry. I got it backwards. Thank you, Rebecca. The Bay Area won. I'm the no. I just in my head, New York was on bottom, Bay was on top, but no, the Bay Area.
Oh, whoopsie.
The Bay Area won big time, but it's fun though because even obviously it's a point per hole, so it reaches a point where you can't catch up. Why do you keep playing? Well, you keep playing because the tiebreaker in the playoff to make the playoffs is total holes won. So they have the reason to keep playing.
Another one.
So I don't. I actually, it is more than the sum of its parts. I shouldn't say that. That's not what I meant to say. I really enjoy the sport, and for that reason,
this button.
Oh, whoopsie.
I really enjoy the sport. So despite the fact that the TV coverage could use a lot of work, the sport itself is a fun new sport. It's more fun than actual golf, and more fun than mini golf. I've watched mini golf too. It's more fun than that. So
fair enough.
There you go. But
And the rest.
Sorry about that. Like I said, Rebecca's doing a full review. I suspect it'll be up today. That partially depends on her, me, and Kyle. It's a 3-person league, but I suspect it'll be up today.
If she has it written, I will publish it tonight when I. And
I've read a draft of her review. I think she did an excellent job. She's put a lot of thought into this, and honestly, I hope it gets read by people at ESPN because I think there's a lot of room to make this into something. This has a lot of potential. TGL. All right, play it again because I just kept talking.
And the rest.
Well, we got some new Valentine's Day products over at EPCOT when we were there looking at all the closed things. I don't know how many of these are actually new. They might be just returning from previous years, but we do have a fuzzy red Spirit jersey, some ears, a tumbler, and a new bag that I'm sure you'll be looking at it.
Sorry, I thought I clicked it. My bad. Oh my goodness.
I'm not hitting the button again. There's the Spirit jersey, the sequined ears.
Silly me thinking I have to mess up on purpose just to get the drop.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to send you the file so you can upload to the other system for DTL because that
Yes.
thing will get worn out.
Please do.
And then yeah, there's the tumbler and then a mini backpack, presumably from Loungefly. So is it Loungefly? Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, you can find those at Epcot. I'm sure they'll have them on Disney Store and the like. But also at Epcot, we got some new Figment merch, including a hoodie that will transform you into Figment if you so wish. It's got
literally
a belly design, looks somewhat like an umpire, but then you'll see on the hood there's some horns and the back has little wings and all design. So yeah, very cute, adorable thing. Oh, it's even got claws. So you can become Figment. But if that's not for you, there's also some leggings.
If you just want to be Figment's legs, yes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just got Figment on the legs and a design. But yeah, and then a t-shirt. So yeah.
That's a crop top, technically.
Just can't wait till I get now transform me into Orange Bird. That's what I really want. Everybody knows this.
Oh my goodness. Kyle, the only Orange Bird hater in the world.
I'm not a hater. I just think it's funny.
Pretty sure you've reached the point of being a hater on Orange Bird. Okay.
I know how to lean into a bit. That's what it is.
Okay. Disney on Broadway. It is Broadway week is coming up. And so if you want to see The Lion King or Aladdin, Disney's 2 Broadway shows at a discount during New York City Broadway week, which appears to last for a little more than 2 weeks, you can get 2 for 1 on select performances January 21st through February 9th, 2 tickets for the price of 1. Or you can get upgraded seats at a discounted price. Just use the code BWAYWK25, Broadway Week 25, BWAYWK25 for discounted or upgraded tickets to see these 2 shows, which I have seen them both, one of them on Broadway, Aladdin, and they are both excellent. And if you get the chance, do not pass it up. And Food and Wine Festival is coming to Disney California Adventure pretty soon. February 28th is when it arrives. It goes through April 21st. And so you can now book those premium experiences like wine tastings, mixology classes. Hearthstone Lounge has a new one this year, a whiskey event, dinner and whiskey, and the return of the popular Walk on the Silverado Trail. So all those sort of events you can pre-book to make sure that you have your spot, and those bookings are now available.
Well, Mardi Gras is coming up quickly. Doobie, you speak a little French. Do you know what Mardi Gras translates to?
Mardi is... No, I have no idea, actually.
It's Fat Tuesday.
Dang it. You know what's funny? I knew Tuesday, and there's no way that means a day of the week, so I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah. Anyway, it translates to Fat Tuesday. And there's some celebrations returning. First at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay, their Mardi Gras celebration will be held on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from January 11th to March 2nd, as well as on Monday, January 20th, which now I know when MLK Day is this year.
Yes, it is.
And during this festive atmosphere, you can enjoy the festive atmosphere during these events. There's also entertainment, live music, and of course, specialty food and drinks inspired by Louisiana Cajun cooking.
Who's your pick here, Miss? You're a pop culture guy.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second, because that's over at Universal Orlando, where their celebration for Mardi Gras is returning February 1st through March 30th. And this is their 30th year celebrating Universal Mardi Gras International Flavors of Carnival. And part of that, there's also a lineup of live music acts. The first few include T-Pain, Joe Jonas, which I think is interesting because I didn't know he was doing solo gigs. The Jonas Brothers didn't break up again, as far as I know. Kool and the Gang, and then later you have acts like Foster the People and TLC. And you asked me which one would be my pick. I would say TLC. I think that would be...
What's their hit?
To see them. They have several hits: Creep, Waterfalls, No Scrubs. Unfortunately, Lisa Lopez passed away several years ago now, but T-Boz and Chili. See, that's TLC stands for T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili.
Left Eye being Lopez, right?
Left Eye is Lisa Lopez, who passed away.
I remember that, yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Kyle. Your pop culture knowledge never ceases to amaze me.
Thank you. headphones, that bass really bumps. But yeah, as I briefly mentioned, I got to go to my first event of CES 2025 yesterday, going to the Sphere to check out the Delta keynote, during which, yeah, they had some digital fireworks, which felt like I was in Soarin', except it went on way too long and it was very repetitive. As far as the presentation itself, not a lot of big news. They kind of talked about some future things that probably won't happen. But the concrete stuff is that there is going to be YouTube. They've entered a partnership with YouTube, so there's going to be some exclusive, I don't know if it was exclusive or just curated content coming to Delta seatback entertainment, as well as Delta, like you can use it on your device. And so I don't know if those deals are already in place, but we should figure out how to get DTL as part of that package.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about happy flyers.
And then also they're ditching Lyft and partnering with Uber, so you'll soon be able to link your Sky Miles account and your Uber account and get bonus Sky Miles on certain things like Uber Eats orders over $40, rides to the airport, premium rides, and things like that. But yeah, then after the presentation itself, which was Viola Davis was there. She's the voice of Delta, so she gave an introduction.
Any musical acts?
Well, I'm getting there. Tom Brady was there because they're going to be doing a new show that you'll be able to watch on Delta.
Tom Brady was actually there?
The GOAT was there. The
Oh, my
part
goodness.
owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, visiting his new hometown.
Wow.
Even though it's not his hometown. But yeah, he's going to be doing a show called Well Traveled about promoting wellness while traveling. I think those were the main name guests. Obviously, they had other guests, the CEO of Uber and things like that. But then after the keynote itself, there was a performance by Lenny Kravitz, and I would have bet so much money that he would open with Fly Away, but he did not. He opened with Are You Gonna Go My Way and played a few of his hits. Just between us, I don't think he was actually singing live because there was some vocal effects and stuff that I don't know if you could hit the button. Maybe you could. There was a backup singer on stage and everything, so I'm not that, but it seemed a little suspect to me. But it was still a lot of fun, different imagery for every song he did. And then of course he closed with Fly Away, complete with the Delta logo on the I don't know what you call it, but the top of the dome. So yeah, it was a fun event. Not huge earth-shattering news from Delta, but I had a good time, and I look forward to checking out the main hall of CES today and getting more footage of that.
Did Delta highlight their fun game that I'm addicted to called Skyhopper?
That might be what they mentioned during their thing with Airbus, where they were talking to kids and mentioned that there's a game that you can play that's Delta themed and whatever.
Okay. So that was your day one. What you got on tap for today?
I don't know. There is a Disney thing today. I don't know when or where it is. So we might have some news from that. It's about ad tech and things like that. But I'm going to head over to the convention center and the main hall, and they usually have some big pavilions outside of the convention center, and then I'll head inside and walk around and see what I can find. That's kind of the name of the game with this show.
This is Kyle's hometown, adopted hometown,
they call
Las
me
Vegas.
Mr. Clark County.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he knows Las Vegas isn't actually in Las Vegas. All right. We're still in Around LP, where we have a couple of new recaps. Yay! High Potential has returned, my favorite new show of the year on ABC, at least. And so Alex has a recap of the latest episode, which is called Obsessed. So you can go check that out. And then we have the penultimate episode of Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus, which is aired. It is called We're Going to Be in So Much Trouble. Only 1 week to go. See how this all resolves. So Mike Celestino has his weekly recap and review. Even though he's on vacation, he made sure to get this done because the public needs him. And finally, we are so happy to bring in, we do have him, right?
Yep.
I'll go through this.
And now, joining the show is someone very special. We have a mutual friend in Wally. He's the Doobster's favorite person on Earth, and he's a tub time extraordinaire. You know him. You may or may not love him. Here he is. Drumroll. Technically Tony.
Technically Tony is joining us. How you doing today, Tony?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. I see the Christmas tree survives yet another week.
So we have some runners who are coming in town to visit, and they said, we're paying so much money, we want to see Christmas still. So we left that up through marathon weekend.
Okay.
Because of the same reason that Disney is. We have runners
gonna
coming
make
to
sure
town
to
who are
set
saying,
bonus alarms for
we're
them?
paying so much, we want to still see Christmas.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll have you next week, and we'll see if that's the truth or if Tony's just lazy and making excuses. All right. So we have a few things we want to talk to you about. I'm going to
Or
leave
a
it to you.
point, not an excuse.
Where do you want to start? Not with your rant, but other than that, where do you want to start?
Well, let's go back to Mardi Gras for a second at Universal.
That's
You know
not
what's
on the
fun?
list. That's not
No,
on
it's
the
not.
list.
Because I was watching you guys and I remembered this. If you look at the featured performers at Universal's Mardi Gras, one of them is Lawrence. You want to know what's fun about Lawrence being at Universal?
Yes.
They do the exit music to Wondrous Journeys at Disneyland.
Oh, that is funny.
So the fireworks show, which is coming back this year in May. So you'll get to hear Lawrence in Universal in March and then Lawrence in Disneyland in May.
Wow, the
Well, I don't
more
know if
you
know
know.
this or not, but Joe Jonas also has some connections to Disney.
All right. In the world of animation, which is, as well as you know, modern bands, animation is even more your specialty. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's go with those public domain ones first.
All right. So what do we got? What did LP happily put up on YouTube?
So LP, Alex did his best and got 19 of the Disney public domains that came out. The big one is that it's the Skeleton Dance is now public domain. In my opinion, that's the big news there. And also, as I noted in the article here, Plain Crazy is also there. So those trivia fans who are always stumped by the question, what was the first Mickey Mouse cartoon that was animated? Plain Crazy was the first one made. Steamboat Willie was the first one released. So
Yes.
always watch the phrasing in the trivia.
Yes, very important. Oh man, that's like level 1 Disney Geek trivia.
I'm gonna say level 1,
Really?
maybe like
Okay.
level 2 or 3, probably 3.
So
Mike Kyle.
you've mentioned the biggie. What is the hidden gem of these 19 that people should make sure they go see?
Well, I like ones that have been censored that are now uncensored. So there's a couple in there. Jungle, I forget what it's called offhand.
Jungle Rhythm?
Jungle Rhythm being one of them. There's another one that was censored just because it
Oh man, sorry about that.
it had there was another one where scroll through the titles again for me, where they showed a toilet and an outhouse. I'm sorry, a bed pat and an outhouse, and that is why that got censored despite other content in it. I think it was the haunted house. Yeah. Are we gonna show it? Okay.
I'll play it while you talk.
Because it has some cultural depictions, we'll say, of the era that don't necessarily hold up today. But again, the reason it was censored is because there's an outhouse featured.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's fun to see them all intact again.
So there are
Most of them haven't been seen, if they were seen at all, on the Walt Disney Treasures DVD sets, where they were either preempted by a Leonard Maltin introduction, basically saying this was the era, it's not okay, but this is how it was back then. And now we don't have those at all, and there's free reign for all.
19 of them. Public domain means you can do what you want with them. This happens every year. Steamboat Willie's now in the public domain, right? And
Yep.
Every year, and we're on top of it. We like to make sure these are out there. Alex doesn't just put up some crap version. He does his best to restore them, puts a lot of time into them. So there's probably honestly no better way to see a lot of these right now than on our YouTube channel. And I look, and nice to see people are actually watching them. So very happy to see.
You could always tell what Disney characters are in the public domain based on what's on your local donut shop or souvenir stand.
I saw arguably public domain Mickey on some CES hoodies yesterday from one of the company's booths. So I'll try to go find them.
We can use like public domain Mickey now in like our own merchandise, can't we?
Yeah.
It has to be Steamboat or Plain Crazy Mickey, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I guess any of these shorts, yeah.
Well, now I forget which one offhand, but it has the debut of his gloves in one of the shorts that came out this year. So now we can at least do the gloves.
All right, what's next, Tony? You want to talk before you? I know you have a lot to say about StuGo. Can we do the trailer for Kiff, Lore of the Ring Light?
Lore of the Ring Light. Very excited about this. A couple of months ago, it was revealed that there would be 2 Kiff standalone specials, one of which was Halloween, which we already saw, The Haunting of Miss McGravy's House. And the next one is now Kiff Lore of the Ring Light. We got an extended trailer late last night, or last night, I guess, that shows more of it. It kind of borrows that like epic theater where it's got like the song, but like that weird ethereal techno sound. In this instance, he's using and I say he, one of the show creators, Nick Small, does a lot of the music for it, and he is doing a song from the third episode called Kids with a Calling, but it's all slowed and drawn out. Like think of the San Andreas trailer when they did California Dreams, but it's all like slow and drawn out and ethereal.
Like every movie trailer.
So that's what they're doing. Because Kiff Lord of the Ring Light is a parody of Lord of the Rings. And what's fun, too, that I liked a lot, they show the ring light at one point, and just like the ring in Lord of the Rings, it's got the writing on it, but it's all catchphrases from like the internet, like LOL, or in this case, LMBO. But I was talking with Kyle earlier, and I said I thought it was interesting that they put YOLO on it intact, but censored LMBO. Because YOLO, in my experience with the internet, is young people doing dumb things. So why would you encourage that? So,
StuGo, go.
StuGo. So I sat down with the creators of that show, Ryan Gillis. I thought you said Brian Gillis yesterday, so I almost yelled at you, but I couldn't. I'm just going to call it my ears on that one. But it's Ryan Gillis and Sunil Hall. I sat down with them for a while and talked about the new show. They are very much the kind of guys, and from my read on them, that we're just like, we're here to make our show. Like the media, cool. We're kind of shy about it though. One of them opened up eventually, but they were just kind of like, I want to go back to work on my show. So, but it's outlandish. It's fantastic. And a term that they coined that I borrowed from them was the sci-fi island. They said we can get away with anything we want because we're on a sci-fi island.
Monsters.
Yeah, exactly. Except StuGo would then eventually explain the smoke monster and not just let it sit there wondering
Shut up.
for
Moving
8
on.
seasons.
Moving on. The smoke monster, by the way,
did I hit a nerve?
The smoke monster is fully explained, Tony. Just because you don't get it doesn't mean it hasn't been gotten.
Well, I gave up after a few episodes because nothing was being explained. Moving on. So StuGo, in terms of my review of it, I have openly said a few times, this is the kind of like 90s. I've been chasing that 90s cartoon feeling for a very long time. Kiff and Big City Greens have come close. StuGo comes closer. It's got that no limits, just absurd fun. Just we're gonna push it as far as we can, and just it's outlandish. It's crazy. There's one of the gags that's a running gag that I love is at some point a kid will hilariously injure themselves. It's nothing graphic or gory. Like there's a machine like makes one of the kids' arms stretch out like a Stretch Armstrong doll, and then throughout the rest of the episode it's just flapping in the wind in the background sometimes. And it's just little details like that I think are hilarious. And then it resets by the next episode. It's just absurd and outrageous, and I love it. And I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. The only reason I gave it the 4.5 out of time is because it's Disney. You've got to have that little lesson in there, and sometimes it's more forced than
Tony,
it needs to be.
Tony grates it down because it has a moral.
Not even a moral, just a lesson. So
if it had a moral, he would grade it down even more.
Probably. You're a little too preachy. 3. If your AI bot said it probably would have given it hopefully a 9 out of 10, which would be the rounding or the
where and when can people watch StuGo?
Debuts on January 11th in the evening at 8:00 on Disney Channel. Those of you holding out for Disney Plus are going to have to wait longer. Sorry, so find a way to get Disney Channel because it'll be on Disney Plus later this spring.
Oh, painful. Why did I get Disney Plus if I can't get everything Disney? What's the point? I don't get it.
I don't know. That's how Chapek sold it to you back when it launched, but now they're realizing, oh, that's not working.
Oh, whoops. Whoopsie.
I'm not used to that. All right. We're going to keep Tony on as we continue through the rest of the show.
I had more to say.
I don't want to go on a rant here.
There
for
it is. Have you ever done single rider line for anything before?
Yes.
Yes, of
I've
course.
talked about
It's-
how the first time I ever did it was going on Splash Mountain at Disneyland, and I was like, wait, so I get to go through the exit and then cross over that cool little bridge and get in my own line? This is a dream.
That's a good one. That's arguably one of the best ones that's ever existed. So yesterday I tried out the two that were at Walt Disney World that are recently added at Walt Disney World, one at Ratatouille and one at Rise of the Resistance. Ratatouille posted a 50-minute wait. The single rider line was 15. It felt longer only because a lot of the areas you go in, and this is kind of true for the whole Ratatouille queue until you get to a certain point in it, is there's really nothing to look at. It's kind of like a red hallway, right? But it worked. It was efficient. And because the vehicles are 3x3, like the test track vehicles, where there's another single rider line that's also very efficient, it works. It works really well. Flash forward to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. If you are a single rider in a single rider line, I understand that groups will use them because they don't care about splitting up. But if I openly hear the group in front of me, and I was by myself for both of these, if I hear the group in front of me talking about how they're going to try and scam it and say we didn't know, and I hear the group behind me talking about trying to scam it and say we didn't know, that makes the whole line inefficient. And especially at Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, the way they do it here in Florida is you kind of go into a not a backstage area at the beginning, but it's off to the side of the entrance, and you go through like the narrow canyon. And if you're familiar with the ride, you're actually going behind Poe's ship and where they get on the shuttle craft. Because of that, they have to pulse this single rider line, which from my experience is full of people trying to scam their way without the 80-minute wait. And they don't want to be seen by the other folks coming onto the shuttle because it's, you're escaping. It's that whole story being told. It's a full modified experience if you're single rider. You go right to the Stormtrooper room. But they have to pulse you behind the crowd. So when you sit there and the cast members trying to sit there and say, you're going to get separated and cut off the group, then no, we're a party of 5. We didn't know. You now have shut that window for everybody, and it makes that single rider line 3 times longer than it needs to be. And then eventually you'll get into the stretch, or not the stretching room. That's the Haunted Mansion, the Stormtrooper room. And at that point, it kind of moves fairly continuously. But you are told by 3 different cast members you're going to get separated. There are at least 4 signs that you're going to get separated. And you do have a modified experience. But if you know you're going to get split up and don't try and scam people, Rise would be very much an efficient single rider line. But it was not. It's also a problem because it's 4x4 on the Rise vehicles, not 3x3. So you're not getting as frequently added as a single rider. But
that's why we can't have nice things, as they say. People
I know.
Scam the system. It's very, very sad.
So if you're a single rider line, be a true single rider. Like, know what you're doing.
Millennium Falcon. I've heard Millennium Falcon.
I haven't done that one yet.
Has a double single. They're trying out a double rider line. So I'm interested.
I knew they did that at Monsters Inc. and California Adventure once. I don't know if they still do.
Okay. Do you remember you used to have to get single rider passes?
Mm-hmm.
Then
that way you knew
scam it. You're like,
you were getting.
I'm holding a piece of paper that tells me exactly.
Pretty soon you're going to sign something, read something, and sign it before you get in queue, attesting to the fact that you will be split up.
Or before your visit, you're going to need to get a single rider authorization.
There was also a group behind me that I think mistakenly got in to it, thinking it was the wheelchair line.
See, that can happen too.
And I was like, oh, now I genuinely feel bad for them. But everybody up here, like, here's what we're gonna tell them. No, I'm not okay with that. And I will be the first. If I hear you behind me doing that, viewers, I'll be the first to out you when they get up there and they like.
I mean,
and
I assume that when you said that, people in front of you, people behind you, I'm like, I imagine Tony gave him a piece of his mind, because that's
I kept to myself. If they had like confronted the cast member. And like it became an issue, then I would have. But the cast members were very adamantly like, no, you are going to be separated. But because they would sit there and argue with the cast member, that's when the window closed, and that line did not move at all. It was an 80-minute wait posted. I waited over probably about 45 to 50 minutes before I got on.
Wow. At least it was a good ride.
Everything worked. I was excited.
Yeah. And at least you didn't need a virtual queue. So
correct. That was my choice to wait in that line.
That's why you're not complaining.
Yep.
All right. Now I will say Tony's going to stick with us for the rest of the show.
The fun stuff.
who's back. No, take two. Look who's back.
Back so
Baxo
soon?
is back. After wow. After 2 weeks off for the holidays, Baxo is back. The Animal Kingdom tiger, who is working his way up to being, I could have picked a better part of the video, working his way to being back to being out in the wild of Animal Kingdom. And instead of backstage, he's 3 months old now. The curious cub has started playing in new places that used to be intimidating. Of course, after playtime, he is back to mom. He is crouching. He's working on his crouching and pouncing skills, and they've sharpened since the last update. Unfortunately for mom, his target is often her tail. And his next step will be learning how to swim, which is an essential skill prior to his debut in the Maharaja Jungle Trail. Every Tuesday, except for the last two, there's an update on the Disney Park blog, so you can
what
watch
tiger
the
is
development.
Baxo's mom? Is it Sona?
It is Sony.
Okay.
SOHNA, yes.
He's also learning to love the canoes, I've heard. So. That was just a joke about Gideon.
Okay. It is very cute, and then you realize these things would kill you without giving it a second thought. All right. This came from Tony.
I forgot I said that to you.
So I'm gonna leave it for Tony.
Okay.
You're not gonna talk about it?
Oh, I thought you were gonna play it. Yeah.
I'll play it. That's fine.
I just love that a Netflix movie made a shot-for-shot remake of Toy Story 2. This is Netflix's Carry On,
Best movie
but
of the year.
it might look an awful familiar because I have not watched Carry On yet. I know Doobie, you are quite versed in it.
6 times now I've watched Carry On.
Okay, so I'm assuming this takes place in relatively the same position as Toy Story 2, where it's the big climax of the movie.
It's actually not the climax. It's towards the end, but nowhere near the climax. But yeah.
Okay.
And I like how the commenters point out Die Hard 2 has a scene like this. Eagle Eye has a scene like this.
I don't remember Die Hard 2 having a scene like that.
Yeah, most definitely. It's actually very early. Yeah, very early in the film there. Yeah, very early.
Where it's a full fight in the luggage thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, call me crazy. Toy Story 2. That's where it stands out.
Doobie, did you watch that reel I sent you about the things that bother aviation geeks in Carry On?
No, when did you see me? Please resend
sent
it.
it a while ago. I'll find it again and send it to you. But it points out all the little errors that there are.
There's a TikTok account which literally has become nothing but Carry On is stupid because, and just talks about all the stupid plot things. And it is a stupid movie. The pitch meeting for it actually is really, really funny, pointing out a lot of the stupidity.
I just want to know why young Elton John gave up the singing career and went towards security guard, TSA.
And,
Is that who that
what's
is?
going on in the Bluth family that he needs to resort to this?
Yeah, right.
He's supposed to be the one keeping it all together.
He brought the airport stair car back and just stayed at the airport causing hijinks and in trouble.
It's got my BFF in it, so I'm gonna watch it.
Who's your BFF?
Sorry, once I commit to hitting a button,
I know, I
it's
understand.
going.
Who's your BFF?
Jason Bateman. Good buddy.
And you didn't
Jason
get our
Bateman.
Bluth reference?
No.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't watch all his work. He just
hangs out with him.
That's how close we are. I don't have to watch all his stuff. As in, I went to high school with him and we talked once. But yeah.
Okay.
Oh shoot, I'm the one today. This used to be very easy when I prepped it every day. Now I just forget that I'm the prepper. All right, Doobie's Link. We're playing This Day in Disney History. We've only got 2 today. On this day in 1935, someone tangentially related to Disney was born. I got a limerick for you.
Okay.
The king and his rockabilly flair met Disney with Lilo's sweet care. His songs gave her zest, a soundtrack that's best, a Presley and Disney affair. There might be some dead giveaways.
Yeah, I think that would probably be Elvis Presley as heard on the soundtrack to Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
And
Elvis.
also
You said
featured in the trailer for Bolt, which you and Benji both reacted to on opposite sides of Rebecca, as I remember hearing on the LPP probably however many years ago that movie came out now.
I was going to guess Michael Jackson because he's tangentially related to Disney and married Lisa Marie Presley. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The
90 years old.
1935 would have been the clue.
Which is crazy. I mean, it's weird. And 90 is obviously pretty old, but Elvis Presley could definitely still be alive. And yeah. All right, finally, on this day in 2018, 3 Disney California Adventures attractions technically closed. One truly closed. The other 2 have since been redone. What are those 3 attractions?
What year is this?
2018.
2018. Okay.
California Screamin',
Yes.
Yeah. So then,
Mickey's
the
Fun
Malibu one's
Wheel.
already closed.
Mickey's Fun Wheel is the other that is still there in a different form, and the one that just said goodbye.
Benji is banging his head.
Yeah, he is. I'm not sure why. Oh, no, it is not the
Jumpin'
Malibu.
Jellyfish is still
No,
there.
Maliboomer was gone long before.
Maliboomer was gone, yeah.
I'll give you a
what else?
small hint.
Oh, the
Is
carousel.
it the Games of the Midway? That doesn't
It
count.
is. It is the Games of Pixar Pier as they were known when they got taken out.
But they're
No,
still
the
there.
carousel was already done.
Are they still there?
Yeah.
Well, then never mind. I
They're
am
different
wrong.
games, though. They're like Bullseyes, whatever.
What are they called now then?
I thought it was still Games of Pixar Pier.
Is this just bad info
But they
I
just
got?
got Pixar theming.
Because it said Games of Pixar Pier closed. So Games of the Boardwalk closed, and now it's Games of Pixar Pier. So I got bad info. I am moving on to a new site.
Yeah, because it was different Boardwalk games. But
It was Games of Boardwalk,
now they're
which
all
I remember.
they're all basically all the same, but with Pixar themes.
So they've actually gone through a few refurbs, right? Because they were just generic games, and then they were
Yeah.
like Goofy and
Yeah.
Casey at the Bat, and then
Yep.
they got Pixar themed after that.
Yep. Because Casey the Bat, if I remember right, is now the Heimlich one.
Yeah.
Goofy
I like the one that's
Fishing
now
is
the
La
Luna
Luna.
one.
Yeah.
I'm
And
very
Easter
disappointed.
Egg and Doug Days, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, I watched that clip of you pointing it out to them often. I enjoy it. Yeah,
That's
good
sweet.
eye,
I didn't know
dude.
you watched it often.
Yeah.
How often is often?
I mean, maybe like once every 3 months.
That's pretty awesome.
Quarterly, if you will.
That's pretty awesome. All right. Anything, Tony? What you working on? We'll save some time for the later meeting.
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
All right. Kyle's got CES today. No one cares what I do.
He was
So
on watching from Kansas City. Hi.
Oh, yeah, it's your town.
I live in Springfield, but I'm not there right now.
Need a ride home. Thank you for joining us today. And we'll be back tomorrow. And I think that's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, wait.
Bye.
We were going to have a show at 10:30. I don't know if that was scheduled already, but that show is
It's
not going to
not.
be happening. Okay. Well, then no one knew about it anyway, so never mind.
All right. Bye.
Bye.